Hello, my sweet saplings. It's Treeni. And if you don't already know, Raven is taking off for the month of October. So I'm the replacement for today. Just a warning, this story has major character depth, angst, and hurt with minimal comfort. Today we'll be reading The Echoes of a Good Day by Typically Untypical. Summary: Logan was late coming home. Virgil did his best not to jump to conclusions, but Logan was never late. The warm summer light filtered through the forest leaves, leaving Virgil mostly in shadows. He smiled, the air already beginning to cool from the setting sun. Today had been a good day. He'd gotten a lot done, the garden was weeded, the kitchen was cleaned and organized, all before Logan returned home from the village. It was always a nice day when he was able to be productive. He still had a lot of energy, too. How long had it been since he had made dinner for his husband? Virgil quickly dusted off his pants, making his way inside. Logan was supposed to be bringing home meats and a few things he couldn't grow in their garden, but all those could be cooked tomorrow. Tonight, Virgil would make a hearty stew from their labors together. They had finally gotten the garden to a point where they were producing more than they could eat. Their excess had prompted a conversation about adopting. Two witches who lived in the forest alone might not be able to legally adopt, but there were plenty of kids on the street who needed someone to care for them. He felt light as he cooked, mixing up the best dinner he could, despite his minimal cooking skills. The idea of being a father, of sharing a life with Logan, filled him with so much happiness and hope. He smiled down at the soup and began to put it on the table. Logan was normally tired when he came back from town, but this would help. Food always tasted better when someone else made it. The table was set and Virgil was sitting there waiting, but Logan still hadn't returned. He didn't want to jump to conclusions, knowing his anxiety could often get the better of him. But his husband was never late. He was a stickler for schedules, especially since he knew the unknown stressed Virgil out. What if he got stuck in a hunter's trap? Or had gotten hurt somewhere in the forest? No, Logan was smart. He wouldn't get himself trapped easily. What if he was cheating? No, Virgil squashed that thought very quickly. Logan valued loyalty and knowledge above all else. The thought of Logan cheating was about as ridiculous as the thought of Logan burning his library. Maybe something had happened in the forest. Virgil grabbed his bag of spell components and covered up dinner with a quick stasis spell. It would keep the food in pristine condition until they returned to eat it. His hand shook a bit as he opened the door to his and Logan's cottage, stepping out and back into their garden. His mind was buzzing as he made his way through the forest. They had a set path the two of them traveled. It was easy to follow if you knew the signs, and he and Logan both memorized the path. Virgil looked out for any sign that Logan might have branched off the path, but he didn't notice anything, and as the sun was just in line with the horizon, he connected to the main path. He still hadn't seen any signs of Logan, and he could feel the deep grip of panic in his throat. Something wasn't right. The sounds of the town weren't right. There was smoke on the horizon, more smoke than he expected. There was a smell in the air, a smell that was too savory to be just food, and it made Virgil's stomach churn. Hold it together, he told himself, as he made his way toward the smoke. Maybe it's just a party. It wasn't. Virgil stepped into the town square, watching as they cleaned up ash from a bonfire, a man pushing a broom across the square. His broom caught on a pair of cracked, warped glasses. To Virgil, the world froze. Everything faded to gray. The world lost its color as he reached for his pouch of ingredients. Anger and pain flooded his senses. He didn't feel as if he was in control of his own body as he attempted to enact revenge on these people. Swirls of magic tossed the air around, and he could hear someone shouting for the guards. He didn't care. The man with the broom was pushed back and Virgil picked up the glasses before letting out a guttural scream of pain. He cast spells and hexes, not caring who his anger and ire hit. Logan was gone. Everything was gone. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew that there were people attempting to attack him. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew he should mind. Nowhere in his mind could he find the energy to care. The life he had been planning with Logan had slipped through his fingers. There would be no more lazy mornings enjoying each other's arms. No more quiet nights learning about the stars. No children who called Logan Papa. Virgil let out a cry of pain that turned into a cough as he looked down. There was pain blossoming in his chest, and not just from the loss of his love. He saw a javelin sticking out of his rib cage. It should scare him, but instead his grip on the glasses tightened. "See you soon, my love." His voice came out as barely a whisper as he collapsed onto the ground, the sun dipping beneath the sky. The stars looked lovely tonight. Janice ran through the forest, dragging his brother behind him. Every inch of his body hurt, both from the running and the blisters that were forming on his left side. "Danny, we need to stop. You aren't doing well." His brother held his hand tighter, but was trying to stop him. "You need to rest your wounds." "How am I supposed to do that?" he hissed. "What about there?" His brother pointed to a cottage, overgrown with vines and ferns. It looked completely abandoned, but Janice hesitated. "Please, it's almost dark. We can at least try." "Fine." The two of them walked slowly towards the door, and the younger brother was the first to knock on the door, which slowly slid open as his fist connected with the wood. They looked at each other, surprised and a little scared. Now that they had stopped running, Janice was swaying on his feet. He needed to rest. "Hello?" his brother called, but there was no answer as they made their way into the house. "Patton, we should leave," Janice whispered, but he couldn't deny that staying up on his feet was hard. "Look, they have a first aid kit." Patton picked up a box that had a few jars in them, and they were labeled with different things. He found one labeled burns and smelled it. It smelled like burnt creams he had seen before. "Here, let me put this on you." And that's the end. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you have a good day. And happy Halloween to those who celebrate it.